A not very transparent way voted to give itself retroactive retirement bonus and also a pay bump starting for 2019. And that got mayors attacking other mayors. And the West Van Mayor Michael Smith was talking to John McComb, I believe. He was asked, what do you think about the Poco Mayor Greg Moore voting himself a raise and a pension with 1 foot out the door because he's leaving?
Well, I think it's ridiculous. It's completely and totally ridiculous. He doesn't work for Metro Vancouver. He gets paid a meeting fee for going there, and for for being the chairperson. Why would he think he's entitled to a pension? I find it so bizarre. I honestly can't get my mind around it because I just don't think that way.
And then that had the Port Coquitlam mayor firing back at Greg Moore, calling the West Van Mayor Michael Smith, well, pretty much the Donald Trump of municipal politics.
Mayor Smith is one for the dramatics, and he's kind of like our Donald Trump of local government here. He says a lot, doesn't have a lot to back it, and so, him calling for my resignation, that's unfortunate that he thinks he needs to go to that step, but I think, and he's liking the media he's getting these days, because usually the media is not covering much that's going on in West Vancouver. So I think he's doing it for the theatrics of it, and we'll see what happens with it, but I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm proud of the work that I've done as Metro Vancouver. We should in the region be proud of this organization that we have that delivers the best quality water, the best sewage, garbage, air quality, and so on for the best value anywhere in Canada.
But they weren't done yet because there was also concern about travel expenses. The Port Coquitlam mayor and the Metro Vancouver board chair, Greg Moore, has billed $80,000 in travel expenses over the past 5 years. 20 trips to places like South Korea, London, a couple of trips to Paris and Australia. Then we found out about some exclusive access to some fancy cafeteria with a beautiful view on the 29th floor of the Metro Tower in Burnaby, where the food was cheap and discounted massages for $10. So the West Van Mayor Michael Smith said, well, I think we need some proper oversight.
Well, I can't really comment on the massages or the cafeteria. I've never eaten there, but I think there's a need in every organization, public or private, for proper oversight. And, Metro Vancouver is no different. They put a lot of public money through there, and we should be respecting every dollar we receive.
So those stories, that controversy, that back and forth prompted an email from a guy who knows all about what it's like to be in a councillor. He was for 7 terms on Langley Township Council, also was with the Metro Vancouver Board of Directors for 3 years, got out of politics in 2014, and said he has some thoughts on this, and he is now in studio with me. Steve Ferguson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Linda.
So you said when you heard about the voting of the raises and the retroactive retirement, you just about drove off the road.
That's correct. Driving down the road, I already know that the number of mayors and councillors that said as directors of the Metro Vancouver Board already paid. They get $350 a meeting to be a director or a committee meeting. So they're already paid quite a bit of money that people probably don't know about. And right off the bat, they don't need a pension. They don't need any extra money. In fact, it's already a job. So my wife and I were saying, well, this is like double dipping. What's this all about? So I was very, very surprised it came up this late. In fact, there's an election this year, this early on in a term coming up with the end of the term.
I understood that part of the reason they were doing it is because the federal government changed the rules in 2017, so you didn't get part of your salary as a taxable benefit, and I think they were trying to make up the difference. Did you really think that the pay increase was egregious?
So what? They changed the rule. We all pay taxes, and every single day, every person listening to this radio station has got new taxes. The gas is higher, everything. So what? I mean, the reality, they're already getting a salary from or some kind of a remuneration for working as a councillor or a mayor somewhere else. So why would that be a concern? That's just something part of the job. They're already paid enough anyway. So I can't see that as being something they want to fool around with.
What about the way it was done? I know our people here at CKNW, and especially on the John McComb Show, tried really, really hard to find out who voted how, and there was just not a level of transparency that was comfortable here.
Well, I think votes are different every single vote. They could be voting on a sewer project, a water project. They could be voting on a regional park. There's a number of different things that Metro Vancouver does. So they just put the vote out, say how many people are in favor. They can call for a weighted vote, and they can call for a vote by jurisdiction. If they haven't did that, they didn't do that. What they simply said, vote, put your hand up, or we have buttons. You hit the button, and they don't have to record who did what. So that way, it was maybe the people couldn't see who indeed was voted for and who indeed was voting against.
Do you think that this was done deliberately because they thought it might be contentious with the public, this increase?
I don't think that Mayor Moore would do that. I think that anybody that knows Mayor Moore, he runs fair meetings. He's basically a good guy. I think what he'd probably done is he'd sat down with a number of the other mayors and said, well, this makes sense, and looked at his accomplishments, because, I mean, he probably has quite a few accomplishments. And he said, look, this is an opportunity for us to look at our past record and maybe give us something. And that's what he did.
So you have to give them credit that they are going to take another swing at this. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think it's going to fail. I think they're going to turn this thing down and send it back to pasture. And I think what do they call it? Second sober thought. I really believe. I've talked to our people. Councillor Bob Long from Langley Township. He's going to bring it back, as well as Chair Moore. I mean, people are concerned about it, and he said, hey, fair enough. We'll bring it back to have a second vote at it, and vote it down and move on. I think while they're doing that, they should lower the actual fee for somebody paid for remuneration Metro Vancouver, because I think it's too high to begin with.
You think it's too high?
Well, I think if you're already a mayor, you're making a six-figure income. You've got the mayor of Surrey, the mayor of Vancouver, Burnaby. It goes on and on and on. They're already a six-figure income. Why should a guy driving in from Burnaby, which is one block, drives to the tower there, which is a new location? The old location was didn't have the cafeteria and didn't have the massage. We used to eat stale Metro Vancouver sandwiches, but that's just the way.
You weren't up at the fancy cafeteria?
I never eaten there. I probably would tell them that's not a good idea. People don't like them eating cheap meals. Just sandwiches were fine. But the thing is, why should a Burnaby mayor, be paid the extra money to drive or walk one block to the actual Metro Vancouver meeting? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, would they just not go then, do you think? Would there be less incentive to be on the board if you weren't going to get compensated?
That question has been pushed around a lot. I think what you'd have to do is interview every single councillor or mayor in the region. Maybe you'd have more councillors go instead of mayors. It's a great opportunity to learn about regional issues. I think we have a great Metro Vancouver system.
All right. Well, I am talking to a former councillor. His name is Steve Ferguson. We are talking about the pay hikes. We're talking about the perks. If you want to get in on this conversation, 604-280-9898. Cheap food and $10 massages. Is that a little rich? We're going to open the phone lines when we come back. The latest AM 730 traffic in 60 seconds.
How much Sea Lovers Fish and Chips is all you can eat? Every day, anytime. All you can eat cod and chips at Sea Lovers plus bottomless pop, just $14.99 plus tax. Truly the best fish and chips in town. Find them at sea-lovers.com.
If your pet is scratching, chewing paws, or licking persistently, there's now a way to help them. This is pharmacist Alan Glasser introducing you to Immunopet.
16-pound Jack Russell Terrier, and virtually resolved the problem.
Help your best friend with Immunopet. Find it at Mark's Pharmacy, 80th and Scott Road, Delta.
I'm Chris Galis. Tonight on the News Hour, BC Big Business jumps into the pipeline battle with an unprecedented warning for the provincial government. And jerseys for Humboldt and the two BC women who started a global movement. Tonight on Global News Hour at 6.
Thousands of British Columbians are living with dementia. Support them by participating in fundraising in the Investors Group Walk for Alzheimer's on the first Sunday in May. Visit walkforalzheimers.ca to find a walk near you. Together, we make memories matter.
AM 730 traffic on 980 CKNW.
Well, I do have some good news. Cleared one problem that was in Langley. We still have two others, though. A car into the ditch, Highway 1 westbound after Glover Road, and an accident 200th Street southbound at 88. Only the two middle lanes are getting through, and also there is some debris on the road, so watch out for that. In Burnaby, saw an accident Wellington southbound just after Still Creek Drive. You're going to find that in the left lane. Want a lot for little? Get a 2018 Mitsubishi Mirage, the fuel-efficient subcompact with 0% financing for 84 months, plus a no-charge extended warranty. Mitsubishi Motors.ca. With AM 730, I'm Sky. I'm Dot Powers.
CKNW traffic for Raymac Industries. Check out the deals at their open house, April 16th to the 20th at 9744 197B Street in Langley. Visit raymac.com.
Need to replace your refrigerator but hate to shop? No worries. Just coast on in to Coast Appliances. With over 40 years in the appliance business, Coast knows fridges. Right now, you can save up to 25% on qualifying Whirlpool appliances during Whirlpool's Define Your Style event. See Coast Flyer online at coastappliances.com and then coast on in to their Vancouver, Surrey, Coquitlam, Abbotsford, Victoria, or Nanaimo locations and shop for appliances your way. Coast Appliances. Brands you want, expertise you need.
Hey, it's Ragnar from Ragnar Jewelers. Come in and take a look at our collection of stacking rings. Dainty rings in solid gold with a splash of diamonds starting at just under $1,000. Buy 1, 2, or 3 and stack them as you go for birthdays, promises, or just because. Your choice of white, yellow, or rose gold for just under $1,000. Drop by for a visit at the Design Studio at 64th and Granville.
If you're looking for a quick tip to save money, lower your thermostat by 2 degrees and save up to 5% on your bill. Boost your Power Smarts with BC Hydro at powersmart.ca. That's powersmart.ca.
In the event of a fire, you need to know that your building's fire protection systems are 100% operational. Get protected with Bartec. Bartec Fire Safety Systems certified technicians ensure your strata or commercial property's fire protection systems work the first time, every time. Providing 24/7 emergency service for over 35 years, you can rely on the experts at Bartec. Get a free estimate at bartecfire.com. That's bartecfire.com.
The only thing predictable about spring is that it's wildly unpredictable. Own the road with BMW xDrive, the intelligent all-wheel drive system that adjusts to new conditions in fractions of a second. Until April 30th, get the 2018 BMW 330i xDrive sedan with monthly payments of $388. Rates from 1.9% APR for up to 48 months with $6,600 down, plus a delivery credit of $2,500. Visit your local BMW retailer today.
For over 20 years, Doors Galore has been serving the Lower Mainland with all its renovation door needs, offering installation and painting services, something the big box stores just can't compete with.
Gotta get your doors at Doors Galore.
Help make room to serve more kids at Surrey Memorial Hospital. Donate to Surrey Hospital Foundation at championsforcare.com/closer.
This is the Lynda Steele Show on 980 CKNW.
Welcome back. Steve Ferguson is in studio. He is a former Langley Township Councillor, 21 years of civic service. Thank you so much for your service.
You're welcome.
And by the way, you look good in your jersey. What kind of a jersey is this?
This is the West Coast Wolverines, they're called. They were a rep team, the ball hockey. My son plays hockey. Hockey's my Alexander, so he played. And basically, they went to the national championship with his team. And
nice.
It was a BC team, people from Richmond, Burnaby, Langley, Abbotsford, and Chilliwack.
And you're obviously wearing this in support of the Humboldt
absolutely.
Broncos. As a hockey dad, that must have hit you pretty hard.
Oh, very. It's very. And we actually lost a couple of our own a few years back.
Really?
It was a lake up there by Merritt there.
Oh, man.
It was very sad. It's hard to talk about, to tell you the truth.
I know. That's sad. Well, what we are talking about is the Metro Vancouver Board and the controversies that they've been immersed in. Let me ask you about the travel expenses, because there was some question about the Metro Chair, Port Coquitlam Mayor Greg Moore, billing more than $80,000 in travel expenses over 5 years, including 20 trips. Some people say, that seems like a lot of money. Does it to you? A lot of trips?
Well, it costs money to airfare and a combination obviously costs money, but I mean, they don't have to go to all these particular trips. They don't have to go to, last trip was Australia and they're going over to Europe and another place. They can get as much information as they want from the email, from phone calls, from research. We have a transit system. We have their particular staff doing the transit system for our system. We don't need a board or elected official to go over there and learn about transit, particularly when it's not an expertise their area. They're an elected official. They're not a staff member. They're not an engineer. They're not a planner. It's somebody that knows about that. They don't need a bunch of, but it's a good perk. If you want a perk, that'd be a great perk.
Yeah, this is what Port Coquitlam Mayor Greg Moore, he was defending the Australia trip, and this is what he had to say.
So first of all, we looked at much more than an LRT system. We looked at affordable housing. We looked at rezoning and growth pressures. Did you know that Brisbane is growing twice as fast as Metro Vancouver? So they even have more pressure on affordable living, on increasing supply of stock. So we learned about different processes that they're doing there to speed up the rezoning process to get more stock in the market. We talked to them about zero waste and what they're doing around recycling, around organics pickup. We talked to them about their new affordable housing strategy, which is different than ours, and how they're leveraging the private sector to deliver non-market housing. So there was a lot of learning that went on there. One of the ones that is really important for me in Port Coquitlam, as well as us at Metro Vancouver, is around First Nations issues. They also are dealing with, and they're miles ahead of agreements with their Indigenous people on relationships and working relationships, especially in a city of Redmond, where they're miles ahead of where we're at.
So, do you feel any better about that?
You have to go all the way to Australia to find that one city is bigger than another?
Especially when you're on the way out. He's not going to be the mayor again. So if he's going to go collect some great wisdom as a mayor, you'd think, maybe you don't do that on the year that you announced you're going to get out of politics, right?
I understand the Commonwealth Games were there as well.
Right?
Take in a little bit of that while you're
Sure. Well, who knows? What did you think about the idea of the massage perks, $10 for a massage?
Well, that'd be great. I don't think the people should be paying for it, but if you want to pay $100 or $200 for a massage and it's in the building, then pay it out of your own pocket.
Yeah, exactly. There were students, though, I think. So I think they were they had to do X number of massages to get their credits or what have you. Someone wants to ask your advice on something, okay? Listen to this. Breton is on the line from Pitt Meadows. Hi, Breton.
Hello, I'm wondering if the guy you're hosting has any advice for someone who's considering becoming a councilman in the near future.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, hang on, Breton. I'm going to get the answer because we're talking about a lot of Metro mayors and councillors not running again. How do you convince someone to run?
I say if you're really committed to community service, go for it. It's a great opportunity. It's a great job. And if you care about the community, the people will support you.
Why do you think so many Metro mayors are pulling the plug this year?
Well, most of them put a lot of time in. I know that Daryl Rosado, I worked with him. I had to laugh because we were just young councillors at the time, and we're running around some FCM meeting trying to learn how it works. And I was so happy to see him getting elected as mayor. I think his time's up. He's time to move on, and a lot of them are moving on as well. I don't know all of them, but I know an awful lot of them, and just their time's up. They put a lot of time in.
And so it's really just that. I did my duty. It's time to get my life, to actually see the kids and go on vacations, that kind of a thing. Why did you decide to
maybe see the grandkids?
Exactly, right? That's what Linda Hepner said.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to get out of it after 21 years?
Well, in my case, I was defeated myself.
Okay, so that's why it was decided for you.
Yeah, it was decided for me. But, I mean, the reality is that didn't change the fact that I cared about the community and will continue to care about the community. I serve on the Seniors Committee Board for Langley Senior Center. I'm involved with the Gateway of Hope. I'm Rotarian. I'm involved with fibromyalgia, and I'm involved with a lot of groups and organizations because, people need help, and it's good to contribute as a volunteer.
What was the best thing about being on council and the entire term?
Well, I think that we got a heck of a lot of recreation, pools and parks and walking trails and opportunities and recreation for people of all ages.
So you feel good about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm going to say again, thank you for your public service, because I know it's easy to criticize and a lot harder to be the person who's doing it and taking the late-night phone calls and always being available to your community. So thank you so much. And thanks for your insights on this issue. It was very interesting to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Lynda.
That is Steve Ferguson. Coming up, as mentioned, Steve's wearing his hockey jersey. A lot of people are wearing hockey jerseys to work today, and this is all in honor of the Humboldt Broncos, a show of support for a team and a community that is absolutely devastated by that deadly bus crash. One of the survivors is speaking out today, and you're going to hear from him right after the Global Major News to 5 o'clock.